I reckon let's just get straight into it and see where it takes us.
If you're in a pacer top, you're a disgrace.
Oh, yeah.
Colin the runner, Nick's the coach. Colin wants up 3. Nick's a 3-hour pacer, it makes sense. This is Chasing Nick.
So welcome to the last ever, maybe the last ever. I would say it's the last ever Chasing Nick episode where we, I suppose, dial down into what happened on the day of the event. And I suppose we're now sitting just over a week, are we now? So we've got time to...
a week and a half, yeah.
A week and a half. We've had time to sort of think it over, mull it over in our brains, and really get to the core of what happened or what didn't happen. So I suppose we'll jump straight into it. How are you, Nick, and how was your pacing, and how was the training for your pacing, or the turning up on the day, or did you have to do anything special? Tell us about the start of the pacer day.
Yeah, so the legs were actually feeling pretty good. I was a bit worried after the 100K. How would they tolerate another long run? I'd done some sort of double figure runs, 15, 16 miles at 3-hour marathon pace. They seemed okay, but I was still a little bit unsure as to quite how they tolerate 3 hours of time on feet. But yeah, so they're feeling good. Turned up on the day, got there early because we had to do some press stuff at 8 o'clock, and I wanted to be kind of already roughly ready to go in the zone, toilet stuff done and out of the way, breakfast in and warm up done before all of the kind of press and media stuff was starting, because I just thought otherwise you can end up, I don't know, doing an interview here and pictures there, and then suddenly you've got to start. And so I wanted to be ready to go. So turned up early. Yeah, some photos for some of the sponsors with the other pacers at about 8 o'clock. Then I think it was a TV interview, but I'm not really sure where that footage went or if they ever used it. So I had to do that.
You mean you were cut?
Flag on.
They actually cut you?
Must have done. Yeah. I think the fees were too high. I mean, they were like, what? This guy can't charge that. Anyway, so, and then it was get the flag on and make sure you're in the pen in the right place, because there's no point the 3-hour pacer having to fight their way through from, several rows back. So kind of muscled my way to the front, and obviously plenty of people behind us, and everyone was asking, what's the strategy? What are you going to do? How fast are you going to go? That kind of thing. Yeah. So, but we got there, met up with Noel McNally. He was the other 3-hour pacer, very experienced pacer and another fast marathoner. I think his PB is about 2:32. So, we knew we were both good for the pace. And it was a case of just getting going from that point. What about you? How was your experience?
It's the first marathon, which I woke up early. I had everything ready. I ate my breakfast normally eat. I did everything perfect. I turned up early because I seen you, and I seen you, and I seen your flag, and I thought, I looked at your flag and I was going, I've ordered one of these flags for an upcoming event. And I was looking at your flag going, is that hard to carry? Anyway, we got chatting. I seen you at the start line, and I thought, I'll just go up and go to the toilet. And Belfast Marathon, usually orderly queues to the toilet. It's a bit of a chaos at the toilet, which means I got down to the starting line a wee bit later than I wanted to be. So I really got down, turned a walk into a run, and then I was way behind you. I was chasing you. So that's kind of the morning of when I got to the starting line. Nothing much happened. Nothing crazy happened. And I started running, Nick, and about 8 miles into it, the pace was hot. I was going, I don't think, like, I've trained at, I thought 6:52. I think I was doing quicker than that for the start. And I think there was a point in the race where I was going, like, I physically can't sustain this pace. And what was that down to? I don't know, Nick. I thought when I was running, because I suppose when you're running, you need to want something. You need to really want it. And what happened to me was it got to the stage where I started going into my head, was I making excuses? Was I not making excuses? Was I thinking about the next event and the next event? And then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to ease up on the pace. And so then I decided to ease up on the pace. And when my sort of 3-hour time had disappeared from me, that's when I started to go, why am I here? Why am I even keeping on going? Why am I doing this? You know, because your goals kind of disappeared. And I thought maybe you'll get, you know, a better time, you know, than a PB than last year. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to ease up. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to see it out the line, because I don't think in this race I wanted it enough, to be honest with you, Nick. I don't think I wanted it. I don't think it was my one race of the year. I'm building up to it. After this, my feet's going up and I'm doing nothing. After this, I'm starting into another set of training, another set of thinking, another set of planning. So I think that's the way my race went. Even pre-race, I knew this was going to be my last kind of road race, Nick, and I'd kind of thought about it. This is my last race. I'll give it me everything. I'll do the training plan and I'll turn up and I'll go. But there was something missing. And that was kind of where my story was in the whole race.
Yeah, I think you've identified, well, there's lots of things to unpack there, but you've identified a big kind of issue, I guess, with having that obsession over time. It's something I've struggled with before. You know, you can be in an amazing place, a huge race, and you've got a fixed target in your mind. And as soon as that target starts to move away from you, you just start to question everything and you don't enjoy it. You're not having fun. It's just a terrible experience. I've been there and I know exactly how you feel. And I think you're right. When things start to unravel, your mind just goes and you've got no motivation to push on. So yeah, I think you made a sensible decision, because as we've maybe, you know, alluded to, there's bigger goals on the horizon. The big risk for you was if you were chasing something hard and unrealistic, then you could end up actually damaging yourself and putting into question whether these bigger things down the line were actually going to be possible either. So I think it was a mature decision. If you had a great day, you felt like you were flying and it was all easy, then you'd have stuck with it. But really, if you're on the cusp of 3 hours, you've got to be all in to try and get 3 hours. You've got to be prepared to put yourself in a hole so deep that there's a risk you're not coming out of it for a long, long time. And that is not what you needed. So,
you know, you say like trying to get that 3 hours. And I said it was my last one, and I always like setting myself challenges. You know, the bigger goals, the longer goals, the bigger sessions, the trail runs, the adventure. And with this being the last sort of, I would say my last Belfast Marathon for a long time, I thought I'm going to give it my all. And do you know what? That's where the training came into it. And, you know, do I regret anything? Do I think that was a waste of time? That was a waste of 3 months. Did I enjoy the training? Do you know what? Running around in circles isn't for me, but it's really not for me. When it comes to that training, like the amount I learned, the amount I changed my pace to the interval training, you know, the speed sessions, you know, maybe I will go out again and do some fast laps, but to do it week in, week out, I think for me, I think the training opened my eyes, and it basically taught me that this isn't for me. You know, there's loads of different ways to train. I suppose the saying, there's loads of different ways to skin a cat. We're not skinning any cats. Animal welfare would be on us. Nick, you love your cats. You have 2 of them. So we're not going to skin any cats.
3.
3? You have 3?
Oh, sorry. There's 3 now.
There's 3 now. So
just
we're not
just in case my wife or daughter listen to this and I get in trouble for not mentioning that there's 3. But anyway, yeah.
And we don't skin cats on the show.
I sort of get paid for. I get paid for doing that sometimes. We should just explain. My other job is I am a vet. So
not only in marathons do you go down a hole, you sometimes do it on podcasts.
Yeah, no, we'll just keep digging. Where's that shovel?
So
let's move on. Let's move on from cats. Let's move on from cats.
So I loved it. I loved the process of the training, but just to realize it wasn't for me. To the point where I finished the Belfast Marathon, and my head was so turned that I thought, I'm away for a run. So I took myself to the Mourns, to the hills, to the trails, and did 10 miles the next day, Nick. And do you know what? I was just back in the zone, back in my fun place, back where I wanted to be, just not looking at time. Because obviously, if you're training for 3 hours, time's a big thing. You're watching your clock, you're doing your intervals, you're stopping, you're starting, you're fast, you're slow, blah, 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 blah. I went out to the trails and I didn't even look at my watch once. I was just going, let's just keep on trucking here and let's just keep on going and going on different routes. And I loved it. I think the personal coach isn't for everyone. Am I a great coach to myself? Possibly not. Do I enjoy me being a coach for myself? I love it, Nick. I absolutely love it. But you've more experience with coaching than I do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing. You have to ultimately find what you enjoy, because there's no point in doing something for the sake of it. You will just burn out or be disappointed and miserable and all sorts of things. So coaching and structure like that, and you came to me and said, I'm trying to break 3 hours. You can't really do that by going out on a few jogs in the mornings and winging it. It just isn't going to happen. So yeah, that's where the structure comes in. But you're absolutely right. Like, it is not for everyone. And I was thinking about this. I don't have a coach. I am my own coach. But there are lots of coaches who also have their own coach, because they need somebody to plan their structure and actually give them some accountability. Whereas if you're the kind of person that just loves getting out for a run, you don't need somebody to tell you to go. You want to go. Then yeah, that kind of structure just isn't for you. And the other thing I would say is that all this stuff like running around in circles and fast marathons and things like that, I did my first marathon in 2008, and it was some horrendous trail route it was in Dorset on the southwest coast path, loads of hills, shingle beaches, just awful. I don't know. I have no idea how long it took me, like 4.5 hours, but it didn't really matter because it was you against the terrain. I didn't race a road marathon until I think about 2015. So there was 17 years between me running my first marathon on a trail to actually going for a time. And that is it. There's in that length of time, I explored so much running, mostly on trails, mostly ultra distance, triathlon, Ironman, stuff like that. So I kind of got all that stuff out of my system, and I love that. But now I've kind of moved on a bit to doing these fast road marathons, which is a totally different discipline. It takes a totally different skill set. So, I think for you, you're really still, in the grand scheme of things, quite early in your running journey. And who knows, you might want to pick that sort of stuff up down the line, but there's so much out there to explore first. And that's where you're at. You're just out there having fun and doing crazy stuff and doing ultras. And I was there, and you can never say never to what's happening down the line. I mean, I still have this slight burning desire to try and get back into UTMB at some point, because it's the only thing I never managed to tick off. But that's several years process, and there's loads of stuff to do between now and then. So you just have to go with it and do what you love.
That is so true, because the other thing to say is that coming off the back of, so my time obviously didn't hit 3, I hit 3:21, I think, which is still half decent. It's not a slow marathon, and I've got to be careful going, oh, I'm disappointed what I did. But when you're talking to people who it's maybe their first marathon and they've done 4.5 hours, like, that's fantastic for your first marathon. It's fantastic getting out there. It's fantastic doing 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3:50, 4:50, 5, 6. It's all relative to where you are and where you are in your journey. And for me, it just felt like nearly, Nick, the closing of a book of going, I got into running and I started doing marathons. But for me, it wasn't long enough. There wasn't enough adventure. And that was my, I think, eighth Belfast Marathon, I think. It was my 8th one. And I've always been just getting a bit faster, a bit faster, a bit faster. And this year, I think it was fair to say that I'd give it one last go, I'd do my training, and that's me done for, I might come back. I very much doubt it, because just getting out in the trails is just somewhere I want to be. And I suppose, I suppose what I've learned from this is the structure does, I'm not saying it doesn't work because my time was slower. I'm saying the structure works because I did get faster throughout the training. I just think the event was wrong for me. Does that make sense? Where
Yeah,
it's,
I think the timing of it was not ideal. Like, it was going to
yeah,
be a big ask to go 3 hour marathon, 100-mile ultra, 350-mile ultra. Yeah, it was a crazy idea, but this is Idiots Go Running. Well, it's not really Idiots Go Running, but it kind of is.
kind
So
of it says it in that.
kind of is, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is why I do these things, and it's all part of a big kind of picture, learning process stuff. And I just think, yeah, to be honest, like, you moved the needle quite a long way on what you were capable of in terms of speed, because some of your sessions you were, doing a lot of miles in and around that 6:45 to 6:50 pace. So that fitness isn't gone just because you didn't get it out of you on marathon day. Now that 7:30 per mile to you, in your mind, you're thinking, look, I can hold a lot faster than
Yeah.
this for quite a long time. So I think forever you have now changed, what that your body can do. And going forward in terms of ultras and stuff like that, it'll make a difference to your to your speed. It won't necessarily make a difference to your level of enjoyment, but it'll just make sure that you maybe get home a bit quicker.
Yeah, because I do feel that when I'm out running now, Nick, where I'm running and I'm easy, I'm relaxed, I'm taking it easy. I look down at the watch and I'm like, I think this is 7:45, but I'm just rolling along, which for me before 7:45 last year would have been I would have felt that. I would have felt that pace going. So as I say, definitely it's just, I suppose it's like me. I always like trying stuff new. I always like trying new stuff. I always like testing myself. I always like trying something different. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But it's in that there space where stuff doesn't work is where you learn the most about yourself. And like, what did I learn about myself this time is that, do I enjoy road marathons? Maybe not so much now, but I enjoy the trails so much more. And I just know where I want to be. Does that make sense? It's like now I know where I want to run and how I want to run, I suppose, for the foreseeable future. And yeah. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't hit my time. But do I regret any of it? Not a bit. Do you know what? It was a whole different experience, a whole different training session. And yeah. Any last thoughts, Nick, before we sign out for the last time?
No, but I would just say this might be the last Chasing Nick, but this definitely isn't the last you're going to see of us on podcasts. There is a massive adventure coming your way, our way. And all this talk about trails. What's the terrain like for 350 miles, Colin?
What's and that's Jason, Nick. So the first 2 days are mixed, and after that it's 99% road.
Right.
But do you know what? It's a different road. Look, I'm with Andrew and I'm with Matt. So for anybody who hasn't heard anything else, I've got trail next. I've got 108 mile of nice, beautiful trail next. So in 3 weeks, I'm in NI 100, which are 108 miles, which I'm looking forward to, which is going to get a lot of trails out of my system. And maybe after 108 miles of trails, I'll be ready for more road. So
get me back on the tarmac.
get me back on the tarmac, and I'm going to save going forward. I'm saving a lot of money in shoes because I don't need trail shoes. I don't need road shoes. I don't need training road shoes. I don't need training trail shoes. Like, I have 4 different variations of shoes. And, Rachel, my wife, is going to divorce me if I buy any more shoes because I have more shoes than she does. And they're all more expensive than her shoes. So I suppose, all in all, I think this whole experience has been a win-win. And you're right. It is. There's a lot of road, but I think it's more multi-day endurance. I've never done it before. I've never really done a hardcore 11-day multi-day endurance event with two guys. It's going to be so much fun. So I think that'll pull me through the beating the pavement, so to speak.
I don't
Yeah.
think it'll matter where you are, really. I was just pulling your leg. Yeah, it's gonna be a major adventure, and the surface. I don't know. You'll probably be glad that you're not having to negotiate tree roots and mountains after 350 miles. So yeah, I'd say you're going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and so the last one, man, to sign off. It's not The Last of Us. It's not The Last of Us and Idiots Go Running, but it is The Last of Us on Chasing Nick. Nick, can I just say thank you so much for writing them their plans for me and getting me up in the morning and down to Victoria Park to run round in circles. Why am I thanking you for that? I don't know. Did I gain anything? Possibly. We'll wait and see. But no, thank you so much for all your time, all your effort, coming on the show and being a pacer at the Belfast Marathon. And yeah, I do recommend you, by the way, just not for me. If anybody wants a coach like Nick, where do they find you?
Yeah, so just head to running.co.uk. So that's rnng.co.uk. There is a whole load of information on that website, but there's also a link to my app. So I have built my own app that I use to coach people. It's fully bespoke. I built it. It's mine. And if you want to be coached by me, all your stuff gets uploaded to that app. It's all there and it's fully bespoke. So that's what I do. And yeah, so if you're interested, drop me a line.
So this has been Chasing Nick. To everyone out there, thanks for listening. This does last forever on YouTube, so go back to all our other episodes, find out about what's a training plan look like, what's a training plan entail, and going forward, if you want to listen to us, Idiots Go Running, it's a place to find us. And yeah, thanks so much, Nick, for all the time, for all the training plan, for all the coaching, and I'll have to keep thanking you because you'll be on the next episode of Idiots Go Running.
Absolute pleasure. And I'll see you on the next Idiots Go Running podcast. And that is going to be an epic adventure. So for anybody who wants to keep listening to us guys rattle on about running and other stuff, head to Idiots Go Running.
Colin the runner, next